welcome to 5 Minute Friday. I'm Ben Brannon with Modern Self-Protection, and this is a quick tip to help keep you safe. Today, it's September 11th, 2020. And this is to remember 20 years ago. A little bit of the anger, a little bit of the sadness, but even more, I want to fast forward another week after that and have you remember what it was like to have the whole country stand up together and get rid of our petty BS, little things that are problems, and stand together. Yes, there's problems that we need to fix in America, by far, and there's problems we need to fix in the world. But if we stand up together and forget the little stuff and work on the big stuff, we can all do better. So for today, this whole day you hear this video, try to remember back. If you're old enough to remember where you were, what happened right after September 11th and the weeks following, how the American people and even the world stood against terrorism and what happened there. Try to remember that feeling of how you wanted to know your neighbors, how you wanted to see nostalgia and stuff that was good and familiar and fun and made you laugh and made you smile, made you feel with other people. Go back to that part of the memory. I know that we lost like 2,900 people. That's horrible. But there was some good that came from it. And through tragedy, we can find that stuff that's better in ourselves. If you weren't around or can't remember just after September 11, 2001, try to talk to somebody that's older that does. And for you guys that are older trying to talk to the younger generation, yes, talk about what happened, where you were, what it felt like, and what happened and how the world changed. And also talk about what happened the next couple weeks. How it really didn't seem like America had any problems besides one, terrorism. That was it. Everything else went on the back burner and it didn't seem to matter. But how are we going to stand together and fight this? And everybody was happy. And everybody was patriotic. American flags sold out. Everybody wanted an American flag everywhere. The company I worked for an armored car company. We all put American flags on the back of all of our vehicles and a sticker. And it was one of my coworkers that found the place to do it. And then it was my boss, who was just an underling in a major corporation, that was able to find the funding to do it. We can all go back to that. We can all be patriotic and understand that, yes, America has problems. Whatever country you live in around the world, yes, we have problems. We're all together, though. And if we all stand together for one giant problem at a time, we can make the whole world move. But if we want to fight amongst each other and we want to go at it throat to throat, and that we care more about the person's D or R in front of their name or after the name more than we care about the substance of that person, we've got problems. What did Martin Luther King say about that? Don't be judged by the color of their skin, but about the character of their heart. Here we are. We're judging people by what religion, what party they're affiliated with, or whether they stand for one group or decide not to stand for it. And then we want to judge that whole group by that one statement, that one thing. Why don't we go out and meet each other, learn what it is to be American again, stand up together as Americans, and then we can help the world defeat any problem. And the same thing goes if you're not an American, if you live in another country. If your whole country stands up against one problem, whatever it is, one thing, you can win. But a house divided against itself will never stand, it will always fall. So find that one thing in common with your neighbor. Find that one thing in common with this group of people. Find that one thing in common with your family members that are crazy, because we all got a crazy family member, right? If you don't have a crazy family member, I got news for you. You are that crazy family member. But find that one thing that we can stand together on, because there is something. The world is such a diverse and huge place with all these problems and all these things that need to be fixed and all this stuff going on. Then no matter who it is, you can find one thing that you agree with that other person and you can stand with them. We're never going to agree with everything everybody does. You know, if two people agree on everything, one of them's not necessary. It's old business saying. But if you find that one thing that you can stand with that other person, now you can stand together on a lot of things. And you'd be surprised if we cut out all the news media and we cut out all the crap and we look at what's going on in the world and we sit down across the table with somebody on the other side. And I'm foreign military, so have a beer, but have a drink, have a meal, break some bread, and just talk. You'd be surprised that there's more things that you agree about than we disagree about. And let me help you with that. Democrats versus Republicans right now in America. Is there a more polarizing thing? If you're a Democrat, you're supposed to hate Republicans. If you're a Republican, you're supposed to hate Democrats because the other side is going to ruin the world and destroy you and put you in FEMA camps. I mean, come on. You think everybody is like that? I got news for you. There is evil people in every walks of life. And yes, there is evil Republicans and there is evil Democrats that, yes, probably want to do that to you. But your neighbor is not your enemy. If you're a Republican and your neighbor is a Democrat, they're not your enemy. And vice versa. We're all together. And if you sit down and break bread, you can find those things in common. As long as they're not evil, that other side, they want a better country. They want a better America. They want better for their kids than what we have right now. And why is that a horrible goal? We may disagree on how to get there, but we can agree that, hey, this is what we want to work towards. And then we can develop ways to test those ideas and work on them. Two people in a room together can probably solve more of the world's problems than 1,000 bickering. We can do this. If you go back to that feeling of where you wanted to be united after September 11, 2001, and share that feeling with everybody, and then act upon that feeling by reaching across the aisle or reaching across the street to your neighbor and finding what that one thing that you have in common that's good about them, but there's a lot of things that are good about a lot of people. Find that one thing that you have in common that you can share a bond over, and you'll find that the world is a way better place. And if we all did this, we would actually make the world a better place. And you know what else? You make a lot of friends, and it would make you safer in your self-defense. Because if something's happening across the street, and I don't know them, I'm not getting involved. If something's happening across the street to my neighbor and my close friend, I'm going to go walk over there and help them. So as much as this is a touchy-feely, let's change the world thing, it's also better for your self-defense if you know your neighbors and you find that one thing in common with them that you guys can share and grow together. I'm Ben Brannon with Modern Self-Protection, and this was 5 Minute Friday. If you want more great stuff like this, you can go to modernselfprotection.com and see my podcast, post, and my YouTube channel there. Thanks for watching.